Welcome. This video is going to be on how to stay awake. So this is 30 tips that I learned from the Army. Soldiers are often required to stay awake for long periods of time in terrible environments. So we're talking desert heat, bug-riddled forests, sweltering jungles, whatever. When you're exhausted, staying awake and staying focused is one of the hardest things to maintain. I've pulled my fair share of late nights on guard duty, staff duty, or putting together a plan for a mission. So I'm about to outline a list of some of the best tips and techniques I've learned to remain focused and awake. So without further ado, number one, get some sleep in the bank. Basically, this is just trying to sleep beforehand. So if you can sleep before you have to go on shift for long hours, then being able to do your shift is going to be a lot easier. Number two, caffeine is a soldier's best friend. So coffee or tea is my preferred caffeine brew. Red Bulls, Rippets, they also work, but they tend to dehydrate you, especially in the hotter climates like Iraq and Afghanistan. So I'll sip on coffee my whole shift, but be careful as you may not be able to go to sleep once your shift work is complete. Now, my second deployment to Iraq, we received a huge shipment of MEG, which is military energy gum. It's a gum. They've got several different flavors. My preferred flavor is spearmint, but each piece has 100 milligrams caffeine, which is about the same as a cup of coffee. It takes about 10 minutes for that 100 milligrams to hit your system, and it'll keep you awake for about 90 minutes. So right now it's on Amazon, so it's definitely a good investment. Next is smokeless tobacco. I know, tobacco's bad and it can cause different kinds of cancer. However, if you're already a dipper or you're already a smoker, nicotine will keep you awake and it will keep you occupied. Avoid smoking though, as the ember off the end of the cigarette can be seen for about 800 meters out with night vision devices. That's eight football fields away. They can see the ember on the end of that cigarette. That's why I say smokeless tobacco. Number four is stand up. It can be done, but falling asleep while you're standing up is difficult. If you're sitting there in a nice comfy chair, pulling guard duty or doing staff duty, just stand up. It will help you stay awake. I mean, in the Army, we've been doing this forever for mandatory training to prevent you from dozing off. Number five, drink water. Again, we use this during all the boring classes that we have to sit through to stay awake. And it works on guard duty just as well. Just occasionally, every couple of minutes, take a sip out of your canteen or water bottle, whatever the case is, and it will help not only keep you hydrated, but it will reset your brain if you're about to fall asleep. Number six, make yourself uncomfortable. So if you're somewhere where it's say you're sitting in a guard shack where it's kind of warm and it's cold outside, open the window or take a stroll outside where it's cold. Or if you're driving down the road, crack the window, let some of that cold air come in. Just being a little bit uncomfortable will also help keep you awake. Number seven, chew some gum or candy. So I already talked about the MEG gum, the military energy gum. It helps keeps your mind busy and it prevents you from falling asleep. So if you can get caffeine from it, then that's even better. Also, just a little note on caffeine. There was a study in the Aerospace Medical Association journal, and it said that caffeine was an effective strategy to sustain vigilance and psychomotor performance during military operations. So they specifically targeted military occupations and said it does benefit the military to imbibe in caffeine. Number eight, short burst of calisthenics. So, provided that the movement or noise won't give away your position, push-ups or jogging in place will help get your blood flowing and help you wake up. Drill sergeants have been using this method since Jesus was a private. Number 9, a breath of hand sanitizer. So you just step out of the porta potty, or you're going through the line at the DFAC, whatever the case is. There's some hand sanitizer there. Take some hand sanitizer, rub it on your hands, and just take a breath. It's just like it works just like ammonia does for football players that's been knocked out. It it hurts for just a second, but it will wake you up. I'm not talking about putting it in a sandwich bag and huffing it. I'm talking about just a quick little breath of hand sanitizer. All that alcohol, that strong scent will wake you up. Next, number 10, switch out with a battle buddy. So if you got enough manpower, guard shifts should be done in pairs. That way one soldier can keep the other one awake, or at least provide someone to switch out with as needed. Uh, it's even better if you can offset the two soldiers by an hour or so. So one's always fresher than the other. Say each one is on a 2-hour shift, but it's offset by 1 hour. Scouts always use this method, especially when observing an NAI. So if they're sitting there looking at a road intersection, one will look at it for 15 minutes, then they'll switch out with the other one. He'll look at it for 15 minutes, and then he'll switch out with the other one for 15 minutes. Yeah, that keeps them both awake, and it's not the funnest thing in the world, but for that 15 minutes while they're on duty, they are very much paying attention. They're very focused on that road intersection for those 15 minutes. So number 11, have a splash of water. So just some cool water on your face, rub it on your arms. The coolness will help jolt you awake. It also works really well in hot environments to kind of keep you cool. Number 12, make up a story about your surroundings. So just as you're sitting there and watching your sector, invent a story about things in your environment. Pretend that the tree has someone hiding behind it. Why are they hiding behind it? Keep yourself occupied can sometimes be a task in and of itself. Number 13, allow your mind to wander. So just think through whatever comes to mind as you sit there, or you stand there, or you're in prone position, whatever the case is. What's going on back home? What you are doing, or what you're going to do when you get out of the Army, etc. Next, don't get drunk the night before. Alcohol hangovers are the worst to try to remain awake through. It's better to not have to worry about sour stomach or dry heaves while you're on duty. Number 15, think of ideas for a YouTube video. So it sounds kind of dorky, but if you've got a little bit of tech savvy to it, just think about doing your own YouTube video. Go over it in your head. What kind of camera angles would you use? What would you talk about? What would your script be like? Those types of things. It'll help keep your mind occupied while you're doing, what you've got to do. Number 16, eat sunflower seeds. So I like to chew on David's sunflower seeds. They make 100 different flavors now, so pick your poison. Next, pull out your nose hairs. So one at a time, of course. You use your multi-tool. Just flip it around so you got your needle nose pliers out, and just slowly, as you sit there and observe your sector, pull out your nose hairs one at a time. I mean, the subtle pain will keep you awake, and it will improve your grooming standards at the same time. Number 18, trim finger and toenails, particularly your fingernails. You may not be able to pull your boots off to trim your toenails, but your fingernails can always be done. You can also chew them off if you want to. It's kind of gross because all the dirt and everything that gets caught up underneath your fingernails, but it will still keep you awake. Number 19, sharpen your knife. So yeah, every soldier needs a good sharp knife. So get a small sharpener, put it in your pocket, and the best sharpener I've used is the Smith's PP1 Pocket Pal. And the reason I like this one is because one is small. It's about the size of a cigarette lighter. It's got a area for ceramic, an area for carbide, and then it also has a like a diamond file that comes down. So the carbide blades, that's for when you get nicks and things like that in your blade. You pull it through there about 10 times, and then the ceramic is just for your normal maintenance or putting a super sharp edge on a knife. You pull it through there about 10 times, and if you got a ceramic blade, then not a ceramic, you're a serrated blade, pull the diamond file through the serrated blade will help you keep it sharp. Number 20, write a song. So typically what I like to do is use the beat of a song that I already know. It's not like I'm making up my own beat and music to a song. It's just a song I already know. I just substitute lyrics for people I know or places I know. And this kind of helps you keep occupied as well. Number 21, put a little hot sauce under your eyes. So you can take some of the hot sauce out of your MRE, just a little bit, about 3 drops, and rub it just underneath your eyes, like where the bags in your eyes kind of sit normally. Not in your eyes, but that spiciness will make your eyes water just a little bit, but it won't make them water so much that you won't be able to, that it won't interfere with your marksmanship. Number 22, a dip of coffee grounds. So I've only done this one time, and it was pretty gross, but it did keep me awake. So you just get some coffee grounds. I mean, you've got the instant coffee in your MRE, or you could get some coffee grounds from usually from the talk, because they usually have coffee grounds, and you just put it in there like it's a dip of tobacco. Put it in your lip. It'll definitely keep you awake. Number 23, whittle. So it sounds kind of dorky, but as long as you're not in the desert, you'll have access to wood. So find a good stick and try to carve something for your kids, your battle buddy, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever. So before you go on duty, you can watch a YouTube video on a whittling project, and then you can get to work. Just don't get so enthralled with your whittling project that you miss something like an insurgent trying to sneak up on your position. So as far as knives go for whittling, serrated knives don't really work very well, but they will work if you don't have anything else. I have a Swiss Army Tinker in my kit, so Wounded Warrior Project Tinker that you can get on Amazon. It's got a few attachments like a can opener, screwdriver. They definitely come in handy, and those 2 blades are perfect for whittling. And the handle is just the right size so that it doesn't cause your hands to cramp up after a long time of whittling. So next, number 24, develop tactical scenarios. So this is kind of the what if questions. So as you're sitting there observing your sector and you see a tree and a road and there's a house all in your sector and you're just watching it, nothing's happening. But you start asking, what if? What if a family of refugees start to approach my position and they won't stop? What am I going to do? What if I hear a gunshot and see a bullet impact to my right? What do I do? What if a vehicle approaches and won't slow down? How many times do I shoot the engine block before I start aiming at the driver's windshield? You get the picture. Number 25, avoid heavy or large meals before duty. So it's probably not going to be an issue unless you're at a large mega FOB like Kandahar Airfield or Bagram Airfield or Anaconda in Iraq. So if you're on a mission and you're probably only going to be eating MREs anyway. But if you're on a big mega FOB, avoid eating, the huge super plate of Chinese food before you have to go on duty. Number 26, be in shape. So if you're fit, your body is going to handle the stress of sleep deprivation much better than if you're a borderline 180 APFT guy. So your body is going to be able to utilize oxygen more efficiently, allowing you to do more and expend less energy than someone who's out of shape. So just being in shape will help you stay awake. Number 27, practice knot tying. So this is one of my favorites. You just take some 550 cord and practice tying knots while you're on guard duty. So every soldier should be able to tie knots. You can use knots to put up your hooch, make field repairs to tents, tie down loads. I mean, the uses are endless. So you could print something off the internet, or you can get a small knot smart card. I got a care package on my first Iraq deployment that had a knot tying kit in it. Essentially, it was some waterproof playing cards on a carabiner with 2 cords. And that would keep me busy for hours, just sitting there trying to figure out how to tie different knots. And I learned a valuable skill. It's also good for hip pocket training while you're waiting for a training event or something of that nature if you're still stateside. Number 28, slap yourself in the face. Again, I wouldn't do this unless you're really having a tough time staying awake, and noise will not give away your position. So just start really light and slowly get heavier with it. I'm not talking about making your face bloody or your lips bloody or anything like that, but just slowly start to slap yourself in the face until you start to wake up a little bit. Number 29, lay off the carbs. So again, this is kind of the same line as with the heavy meal before duty. Carbs the same way. If you eat a big bag of potato chips right before guard duty, those potato chips, all those carbs and trans fats are going to turn into sugar. Then you're going to get a sugar rush. Then the sugar rush is going to go away and you're going to be dog tired. It's going to be very difficult to keep your eyelids open. So I prefer protein. So it'll keep you full a lot longer. Things like jerky, nuts, hard-boiled eggs, cheese, anything along those lines that's got a lot of protein in it will be the best little snack for you while you're on guard duty. And number 30, the last one, write home. So don't underestimate the power of a handwritten letter to a loved one back home. My first deployment, which was like in 2004, I wrote several letters back home to my mom, and she still has those letters back home. They'll cherish those letters forever. And think about how many handwritten letters there are from the Civil War. People keep those letters. So I know it's the age of email and Skype and cell phones and everything else, but those handwritten letters will be kept forever, and people cherish those. So whether it's a friend, a girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, your parents, whatever, they recognize that you took the time out of your schedule to write a handwritten letter, and they will probably keep those forever. So this concludes everything that I have for staying awake while in the field or camping or whatever the case is. But if you like this article or you like this video, then check out my blog at fieldcraftguide.com for more great articles on Fieldcraft. I've been in the Army for about 18 years now, so I've got a lot of knowledge and experience to share. And click the subscribe button below if you want to see more videos. Thanks.